Hi and welcome to this video. In this video, we will build a newsletter in Outlook, but on Mac, not on Windows. So usually you would build it on Windows and then you would switch to Mac, or there are some workarounds to send the template to Mac to be able to use it on Mac operating system. But this time we will build it from scratch on Mac without using Windows, without using any other app other than Outlook. So let's get started. The only problem is that I'm using a virtual machine on my Windows, which might be a bit slow, comparing it to like a normal Mac operating system or a normal Mac laptop. And I'm using it in a virtual machine just to solve like some problems or to show some tutorials about how to use Outlook or build newsletters on Mac OS. So let's start. As you can see, we have here on my screen the desktop of my Mac, and I have here Outlook open. So let's start by creating a new email. And now let's pop up our window, and now let's use a full screen to make you see what I'm doing. So now we have almost full screen, and here you can see this is the email body. And the first thing that we need to do is to insert a table. And Mac is a bit different than Windows. In Windows, in Outlook on Windows, we have the page background. We can change the background of the page, but on Mac, we can't change the background. This option is not there. So the workaround is to use two tables. So let me insert the first table, which is going to be just one cell. And here, as you can see, we have the table. Now let me click on it. And with the right mouse button, let's go to table properties. And under table properties, we need to give it a preferred width, which is going to be 100%. Because as I said, it's going to hold the background of the template, so we need to give it 100%. And we need now to give it OK. As you see, it took the whole width. Now we need to do something else. We need again to select it and go to table and go to table properties. And here we need to go cell, and under cell we need to go to options. And here we need to give it like 5 millimeters. We can do a copy paste, which is a weird thing here. Or just because I'm used to other shortcuts on Windows. As I said, it's a bit slow because it's a virtual machine. And my laptop now is crying because I'm recording and running like a virtual machine. So it's an act just to change the padding inside the table. So now this is our table. We need to change also something else, which is the background of the table. And we need to go to right mouse button and then border and shading. And here we need to remove the borders by going to setting and then here none. And after that, we need to go to shading. And here we can give it a color. I'm going to use this one. And let us say, okay, now we have the background table. And now we need to insert another table, which is going to be the body of the email template. And we are going to need 4 rows. So let me start with 4 rows. And it took the whole width automatically. So now we need to select it and go again to table properties. And under table properties, we need to change the width to 21 centimeters. It's going to be around 800 pixels. And then we need to center our table. And after doing that and pressing on OK, now we have the table here. On Windows, we can deactivate or we can remove the border and use the grid line, like activate the grid line, and then we will see the table. But now here, I couldn't find the grid line, so I'm just going to leave the borders now, and I will remove it later. These 3 cells, we need to give them a different padding and spacing than the top one, because the top one is going to hold the banner. So here we need to go to this option and then to cell, and under cell we need again to go to options. Here we need to remove the same as the whole table, and we need to use top and bottom 5 millimeters, and left and right we need to use around 1 centimeter. So it's going to be around 35 pixels. And now let's press on OK. Now, as you can see, we have the spacing. We need to give our table a background, and we need to remove maybe the borders. So to do that, we need again to go back to the table properties for border and shading. And here we need none. So for borders, and then we need to go to shading and to give it a white color. Then we press on OK. So now this is our table. We need here to insert and to bring some text. I think I have on Safari, I prepared some drawing up some. So this is going to be the text. Now let's add our banner. So in order to add the banner, we need to remove the spacing on the left and the right. Again, table properties, and then we need to go to cell options and remove the left and right. So now we have removed it. So now we need to insert an image here. We can go to this icon here, insert picture. Now we need to go to photo browser. That's familiar with it. So let's browse from a file. Yeah, I forgot it. We can go the second option in the insertion or downloads. Like if you are designing a Christmas newsletters, I downloaded this image already just as an example. You can see now it's huge. So we need to adjust it. And the first thing we can make it a little bit smaller. You can see we have here on the screen width and height. I'm gonna bring it down to 21. So there is here, if you use your right mouse button, you can have the size, and the size is almost one. So let's go to one because this is going to be 180 pixel. This is going to be 100. This is going to be almost 800 pixels. So let's press on OK. Now let's go to crop. And here we can crop the image. I'm doing it here, but you can use another program. You can use Word or PowerPoint or any other program, especially if you want to write a message on the banner, because we can write here on it. As you might know, image text with images in the background are not gonna work in Outlook. There are some specifications, but generally they don't work. And now that is like we have banner, we have text, and now we need to create like two cards here at the bottom if you want to promote a content. And we can do it exactly like we do it in Windows. We can use like a table with two columns. Let me just scroll down a bit. And here we can just copy, we can insert again, we can select and insert below, rows below. So now we have two other rows here, and we can select the text and do here paste, paste. Then we can give our cards like background, and we can go to table properties. And then border and shading, and we remove the border and go to shading. And here we can use a very light gray background. And maybe we can add a line between the cards to fake like kind of space between them using the border. And then we can use like 6 points, and the color we can use white. The color didn't work, so let's Try again. Or the divider between the two columns didn't work. So let's try again. It's weird because it's not working. So we need to use again table. So now I know why it didn't work because you need first to select the style and to adjust the style and then apply it. Because I thought like just by changing the style, it's going to update it automatically. So you need to change the style and then update it automatically. Now we need maybe here to add a little bit of spacing. We can use the same way going to table, um, table properties, and then cell. And here under cell in options, you can add the text. So if you want, you can add like 5. And now you can see we added kind of spacing around the text. We can add also an image, and then we can go again to picture. We can use the same Christmas image. It's too big, so we need to go to size and position. And because we know that our template is 21 centimeters, so we can go directly to around 9 centimeters. And it's almost like the size that we want. Then we can copy paste and add it here to the other one. You can make it even smaller and you can even remove the spacing around it to make it top bottom maybe by doing the same way, going to table position, to table properties, and then to cell and adjust under cell under options the spacing. And at the bottom here, you can add like a footer here. You can add it using a table. And here you can type like, yeah, visit our website or yeah, something like this. And then you can add a link to it by highlighting it, right mouse button. And then here at the bottom, you have a link. And here you can give the link of the website or the document that you want to link the text to. And in general, like this is exactly like what we do on Windows. I spent years avoiding creating templates on Mac, although I had in the old company an extra MacBook just to test the email templates. But I've never tried to create a newsletter on Mac. And I don't know. I tried it and it's not as bad as I thought. You can use the same tricks for if you have a good understanding of newsletters, how they work on Windows. You can just build it here on MacBook as easy as on Windows. Before I finish, there is something very important. The calculation of the centimeters and the points here is much better than on Windows. So you are not going to have any white lines if you create it on Mac OS or on Outlook or in Outlook on Mac. So this is one of the benefits of creating it here. And it's also responsive, so no worries. It's going to be 100% responsive if you follow the same way that I did here and I do always in the other templates. I hope you learned something from the video. If you have any question, please leave a comment. I try to answer all the questions. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in other videos.